Venus in Pisces in the first house indicates a compassionate, romantic, and dreamy personality. There is a natural charm and a soft, magnetic presence that draws others in. This placement enhances sensitivity, creativity, and an intuitive connection to beauty and emotions. Personal expression often reflects kindness and a desire to inspire love and harmony in others. In relationships, there is a deep need for emotional closeness and spiritual connection. Love is often idealized, and affection is expressed through selflessness, empathy, and acts of kindness. There may be a tendency to see only the best in partners, which can lead to overlooking red flags or sacrificing too much. Challenges include setting boundaries and distinguishing between realistic expectations and romantic fantasies. The first house influence makes Venus's energy central to the personality, emphasizing grace, warmth, and a love for creating harmonious relationships. Self-worth can be tied to how others perceive them, which might lead to fluctuating confidence based on external validation. Career influences often align with artistic, creative, or healing fields. Roles in music, art, counseling, or spiritual work can feel fulfilling. The strong imagination and empathy of this placement thrive in environments that allow for emotional or creative expression. Practical focus and discipline may require extra effort. Strengths include empathy, artistic talent, and the ability to create deep emotional connections. Challenges involve maintaining strong boundaries and staying grounded. The lesson lies in balancing Pisces' dreamy and compassionate nature with self-awareness and practicality. Building self-confidence and grounding creativity in real-world actions lead. Someone with Venus in Pisces in the second house may be highly sensitive, emotionally deep, and intuitively creative. They often have a unique charm, artistic flair, and a great sense of aesthetic beauty. They can also be prone to idealize, fantasize, or romanticize their world, particularly their relationships and financial situations, due to the dreamy Piscean influence. In terms of relationships, these individuals tend to love unconditionally, showing great empathy towards their partners. However, their sensitivity may sometimes lead to emotional vulnerability. They may also expect loved ones to meet the ideal standards set by their fantasies, which might cause disappointment. Career-wise, this placement might influence one towards professions that allow freedom of creative and emotional expression, such as the arts or healing professions. Their natural intuition can make them excellent in areas requiring insight into human behavior and motivation. One major strength of this placement is their innate ability to find beauty and value in the intangible. Their compassionate and forgiving nature is another plus. However, their tendency to escape harsh realities can lead to troubles, especially when decisions involving money or values are concerned. A vital personal growth lesson for people with the Venus in Pisces in the second house is learning to distinguish their ideals from reality. To emotionally protect themselves, they must learn not to over-idealize or overlook a person or situation's flaws. For a robust financial life, understanding the practical aspects of money management without getting swayed by unrealistic expectations or sentiments is key. Venus in Pisces in the third house suggests a compassionate, intuitive, and poetic communication style. There is a natural talent for expressing emotions and ideas with creativity and grace. This placement fosters a love for meaningful conversations and connections, often valuing the beauty in words and shared thoughts. In relationships, there is a preference for partners who value deep emotional understanding and thoughtful communication. Love often develops through shared interests or heartfelt dialogue. Affection is expressed through kind words, romantic gestures, or imaginative ways of showing care. Challenges include a tendency to idealize others or misinterpret communication due to an overly trusting nature. Clear boundaries may be needed to avoid misunderstandings. The third house focus enhances a love for learning, storytelling, and exploring different perspectives. This placement often excels in writing, teaching, or creative fields that require emotional expression. Careers involving artistic communication, counseling, or spiritual guidance may feel rewarding. However, maintaining focus on practical details and completing tasks can be challenging due to a tendency to daydream. Strengths include creativity, emotional intelligence, and the ability to connect deeply with others through words. This placement inspires others with its thoughtful and imaginative communication style. Challenges involve staying grounded, managing expectations, and ensuring clarity in interactions. The lesson lies in balancing Pisces' imaginative nature with the third house's focus on effective communication and practical learning. By grounding creative ideas and practicing clear expression, this placement can achieve personal growth, meaningful relationships, and success in Venus in Pisces in the fourth house suggests a deep emotional connection to home life. These individuals often have a strong love for tranquility, escape, and privacy, often retreating to their safe space to recharge or dream. They are sensitive and empathetic, making them caring and supportive in close relationships. However, their heightened emotional sensitivity can lead to getting hurt easily. In relationships, they can be romantic, compassionate, and selfless. They may also seek partners who can provide emotional security or a home-like feeling. It's important for them to guard against falling into codependent or escapist behaviors due to their tender-hearted nature. When it comes to career, they are suited to professions allowing self-expression, empathy, and creativity. Roles in art, counseling, healthcare, or even real estate, due to their association with home life, could be satisfying. Strength-wise, they possess deep compassion, creativity, and emotional intuition. But their challenges lie in dealing with harsh realities and setting boundaries in relationships. They may struggle with discerning who genuinely needs their help and who is taking advantage. As for personal growth, learning to balance their desire for emotional intimacy with the need for healthy boundaries will be a crucial lesson. Understanding that it's okay to say no and focus on their emotional well-being can spur significant personal development. It would also benefit them if they discover that it's possible to find peace and happiness within themselves, rather than seeking it externally. Having Venus in Pisces in the fifth house suggests an individual with a romantic, creative and sensitive personality. This placement may lead to a tendency to idealize love and relationships, often venturing into daydreams or fantasies. They may be deeply emotionally engaged in their relationships, with a high level of empathy for their partners. They may also enjoy artistic hobbies, attracted to music, art, and poetry. In terms of challenges, the extreme sensitivity and idealism may lead to dissatisfaction when reality doesn't match their ideals. There could be struggles with setting healthy boundaries and avoiding codependent relationships. They may need to learn to balance their emotional needs with practicality to avoid disappointment. Potential career influences suggest pursuits where creativity and empathy are valued. Roles in the arts, counseling, or sectors helping others could appeal. As empathetic listeners, they might excel in professions where understanding and responding to emotional needs is important. Strengths associated with this placement include creativity, intuitiveness, compassion, and a deep capacity for love. They are often the ones people turn to for comfort and understanding. As for personal growth lessons, these individuals may need to learn about realistic expectations in love, maintaining healthy boundaries, and channeling their creativity productively. Despite the challenges, their capacity for deep emotional connections and their potential for creative brilliance stand as testimony to the unique charm of having Venus in Pisces in the 5th house. A person with Venus in Pisces in the 6th house is likely to be sensitive, compassionate, and capable of deep emotional connections. They are often intuitive and highly perceptive, making for strong empathetic qualities. They are likely to express love by providing service to others, deriving immense pleasure from helping and supporting those around them. In relationships, they tend to be an understanding and selfless partner. However, this can lead to challenges if they constantly put the needs of others before their own. They may end up feeling unappreciated, leading to emotional upset. They also have a tendency to idealize partners, which could result in disillusionment if reality falls short. Career-wise, they are likely very organized and systematically inclined, making them suitable for work that involves meticulous planning and attention to detail. Careers in healthcare, human resources, or customer service could be good fits. Their natural tendency to help others could also make them successful in charitable or nonprofit organizations. Strengths of this placement include their empathy and desire for harmony in relationships. They can create a grounded and pleasant work environment. Their challenges include a potential fear of conflict and a sense of obligation that may lead to overworking or feeling taken for granted. For personal growth, learning to establish personal boundaries and cultivate self-care is important. They should strive to balance their need for service with their own emotional and physical well-being. They need to learn the value of saying no when necessary and realize that taking care of themselves is not selfish but essential for their happiness and effectiveness. They should also work on keeping expectations realistic to avoid unnecessary disappointment. With Venus in Pisces in the 7th house, the individual likely has a compassionate and empathetic nature. They may be deeply romantic, idealistic, and dreamy in love relationships, often blurring boundaries due to their immense capacity to give and merge with the partner. Their big-hearted approach can sometimes lead to emotional disappointment if their expectations are not met. In terms of relationships, they might gravitate towards partners who are spiritual, artistic, or in need of healing, echoing Pisces' savior and sacrificial lamb archetype. The challenge lies in ensuring they don't lose their identity in the process or play the role of a rescuer excessively. This placement suggests a strong inclination towards professions related to arts, healing, counseling, or diplomacy due to the empathetic and aesthetic sensibilities of Pisces Venus combined with the 7th house's partnership-oriented focus. However, they might struggle with making business decisions, as Pisces often prefers emotional connections over materialistic gains. Strengths associated with this placement include a deep intuition, a great capacity for empathy, artistic talent, peacemaking skills, and a kind-hearted disposition. Challenges involve maintaining boundaries, discerning idealistic from realistic expectations, and dealing with emotional vulnerability. Personal growth would involve learning to discern illusions from reality in relationships, balancing their need to merge with maintaining a distinct individual identity, and channeling their creative and healing energies productively. Integrating sensitivity with self-care and emotional strength can help them effectively navigate their life journey. An individual with Venus in Pisces in the 8th house is generally compassionate, intuitive, and sensitive. This placement amplifies emotional receptivity, often allowing empathy for others' feelings. As a result, these individuals may gravitate towards careers in counseling, healing, or spiritual guidance, where their intuition and empathetic nature prove valuable. In relationships, they exhibit a deep emotional understanding. They tend to form intense, soulful connections. Despite their desire for profound relationships, these individuals may struggle with setting healthy boundaries, leading to potential conflicts or power imbalances. Their financial situation may fluctuate or involve others, such as investments or inheritances, as the eighth house governs other people's resources. They might have a knack for intuitively understanding financial markets and trends, influencing their career choices. The challenges for people with Venus in Pisces in the eighth house mainly revolve around managing their emotional depth. Their heightened sensitivity can lead to overwhelming emotions, or they may absorb others' emotions too easily. Their greatest strengths lie in their profound empathy and ability to connect on a deep emotional level. Their intuition can serve them well in both personal and professional aspects of life. For personal growth, they may need to learn setting boundaries, regulating emotional intensity, and distinguishing their own feelings from those of others. Recognizing when to detach can help to protect their mental and emotional well-being. Balancing their instinct to help others with personal needs is also an important lesson. Venus in Pisces in the ninth house suggests a dreamy, spiritual, and broad-minded person. Core personality traits include being empathetic, compassionate, and intuitive with a knack for understanding cultures and philosophies different from their own. They often seek meaningful, deep connections in relationships and may have an idealistic view of love. They value emotional bonds and spiritual growth in relationships. Their career influences might lean toward careers involving teaching, travel, writing, philosophy, or spirituality. They may do best in professions that allow them to explore their empathetic, creative, and imaginative traits. They also have a talent for understanding trends and patterns, which can be useful in many fields. Strengths of this placement include their deep empathy for others, their ability to dream big, and their natural philosophical wisdom. They have a great potential in artistic or spiritual career paths and are likely very adaptable to various cultures and philosophies. Challenges include the tendency to idealize relationships and escapism. They might struggle to keep their feet on the ground, which can lead to them overlooking the reality of certain situations. They might also struggle with setting boundaries in relationships because of their deep empathy for others. For personal growth, this individual can benefit from embracing their natural compassion and sensitivity, while also learning to balance their ideals with reality. Moreover, they should learn to protect their energy and set boundaries with others. Being mindful of these lessons can help them to avoid disillusionment in relationships or career paths. People with Venus in Pisces in the 10th house can be extraordinarily compassionate, attuned to the emotional needs of others. They don't just sympathize, they empathize, feeling what others feel. This sensitivity can also mean they absorb the mood of their surroundings, which can be both a strength and a challenge. In relationships, they are often idealistic, seeking soulmate connections. They may have difficulties setting boundaries and can be prone to losing themselves in their partner. They're often attracted to people who need help or healing, yet this can lead to one-sided relationships if not balanced. In terms of career, these people may excel in fields that allow this compassion to shine, such as counseling, social work, healing arts, or artistic pursuits. They have an innate ability to connect with people on a deep, emotional level, valuable in any career requiring a human touch. Their strengths lie in their deep sense of empathy, artistic creativity, and spiritual insights. However, they can struggle with setting boundaries, risking their mental and emotional health. They can also struggle with handling practical matters and can be prone to escapism, which may result in disappointment or disillusionment. The journey in personal growth for people with this placement involves learning to balance their need to help others with self-care. It will be essential for them to learn when helping is genuinely needed and when it may hinder others from their self-growth. Balancing their practical and emotional sides is also key to their success and happiness. Learning to bring their dreams into reality by grounding themselves in the real world can be a powerful lesson for them. With Venus in Pisces, the individual likely radiates empathy, compassion, and creativity. This sign's sensitive nature often means they're deeply intuitive and can sense others' emotional needs. They often express affection through creative or artistic ways and may be attracted to people who mirror their romantic ideal. This placement can result in dreaming of an ideal love, which could lead to disillusionment if reality cannot match it. Their 11th house position suggests a deep connection with friendships and group activities. They typically value societal ideals and humanitarian visions. They may often find themselves playing the role of a peacekeeper within their social circles. These individuals are likely comfortable in diverse social situations and may be recognized for their inspiring and harmonious presence. In terms of career, this position may suggest opportunities linked to creative, humanitarian, or social sectors where they can express their sense of empathy and idealism. Possible career paths may lie in art, counseling, or nonprofit organizations. Their strengths likely include their deep empathy, creative talents, and social adaptivity. A key challenge can be idealizing relationships to an unrealistic level, which may lead to disappointment. Some may struggle with discerning genuine friendship and affection from superficial connections. Personal growth may involve learning to see relationships and friendships clearly, without the lens of idealization. They might need to balance their sensitivity and idealism with realistic expectations. It's also essential for them to remember that it's okay to put their needs first sometimes. In one line, Venus in Pisces in the 11th house indicates a compassionate, creative, and idealistic personality with a profound affinity for relationships and groups. Having Venus in Pisces in the 12th house often indicates an individual with a profound sensitivity and a deep, boundless capacity for compassion. They are natural empaths, able to intuit others' feelings and desires. They might crave solitude to recharge and prefer imaginative, mystical, or spiritual pursuits. In relationships, they're typically selfless, willing to sacrifice for their partners. However, they can fall into the trap of idealizing their partners and can struggle with feeling misunderstood or not fully appreciated. Boundaries could be challenging to set and maintain, leading to potentially toxic relationships. It's important for them to learn to discern true love from fantasy. Career-wise, this placement suggests affinity for creative, healing, or spiritual professions. They could excel in fields like art, music, psychology, or even work involving social justice or humanitarian causes. Their empathetic nature and creativity are their key strengths, making them indispensable in such roles. The main challenges lie in handling overly emotional situations, dealing with disappointment, and setting boundaries. They may also struggle with feelings of isolation or being misunderstood. Overcoming these challenges often involves learning to distinguish between reality and fantasy, and developing a stronger sense of self. As for personal growth, acknowledging personal needs, establishing healthy relationships, and harnessing their creative potential should be their focus. Empathy is their gift, yet it's important to maintain balance to avoid emotional exhaustion. Hence, learning when to give and when to retreat can mark important growth milestones.